Did you know that the average person in London says sorry up to 7 times a day? But here's the real question. Why are some countries so quick to apologize, and does it actually hold people back at work? Because when a British commuter, a Canadian barista, and an American manager all say sorry, it might sound the same, but it does not mean the same. And in some workplaces, one extra apology could be the reason you get passed over for promotion. I'm Sabir Haque, and this is Fix Your Focus. Researchers from the Lancaster University, along with YouGov, actually tracked this problem. They asked people across different countries to record every time they said sorry in a day. Every apology got a tally mark, and by the end, the results actually looked like a medal ceremony. Gold goes to United Kingdom, about 7 apologies a day on average. Canada picks up silver with roughly 6. Australia grabs bronze, just under 5. And then comes the United States with a little over 1.5. And Japan, depending on status and rank, averages around 1. But here's an interesting twist, especially from the study in East Asia. Many Chinese speakers were actually the fastest to admit they were wrong, but they often skipped the word sorry completely. It is not denial, it is cultural. The goal is to keep harmony, not spotlight blame. So why does these numbers vary so much? Well, culture decides the rules of the game. In Britain, sorry is like social oil. It keeps things going, keeps things grinding during the rush hour in the underground tube. In Canada, it is baked into the national personality. They are so committed to it, Ontario even passed a law that said apology does not count as a legal admission of guilt. In Australia, that casual, laid-back style made a quick apology felt effortless. In the US, people tend to value directness, less softening, fewer sorries. And in Japan or China, hierarchy plays a big role. Instead of a blunt apology, people use polite titles or indirect phrasing to show respect without shame. So yes, where you are from changes how often you say sorry. But here's a real twist. What happens when all these habits leave the streets or the train stations and walk into a workspace, into Slack channels, email threads, and Zoom calls? And what happens when those extra sorries meet gender? That's what we are unpacking next. Open a week's worth of office email and 2 lines show up again and again. Sorry to bother you. No worries if not. Here's the question worth asking. Who is more likely to write this, men or women? It's women. And the difference isn't small. This starts early. Girls are taught to keep things smooth, to keep the peace. Boys, on the other hand, are encouraged to be confident, even blunt. So by the time we hit adulthood, many women are using sorry the same way some might reach for a cup of coffee. It's automatic, it's constant. And sometimes it is just for existing, taking up space, speaking up in a meeting, or asking for a deadline extension. Linguists call these phrases mitigation markers. They soften the tone of a request. Career coaches have another name for them, reputation risk, because while they might sound polite, they can quietly signal self-doubt. And in workplaces where speed and confidence are currency, those signals matter. Stanford economists Lily Liu and Marshall Moe decided to study this properly. They brought in 700 people, half played the role of employees, the other half played the role of bosses. Everyone did the same test, like a SAT-style quiz. Then the employees wrote a short message to their bosses explaining why they should be promoted. Now here's what happened. The test scores were equal. Men and women performed the same. But when it comes to those messages, women are twice as likely to say sorry. And the reaction? The bosses felt a little bit more warmth towards who apologized, but they also rated them as less capable. More warmth, less competence, and yes, lower chances of getting promoted. So here's the trap. If a woman skips the apology, some people will call her too blunt. If she uses it too much, others will think she lacks confidence. And that's not just annoying, it's expensive. Too many reflex apologies can lead to smaller pay rises, slower career growth, and fewer leadership opportunities. That's the cost. So what is the way forward? So let's start small, because even small shifts in how we speak can change how we are seen. First, trade guilt for gratitude. Instead of saying sorry for the delay, try thanks for waiting. It still sounds warm, but it lands with confidence instead of an apology. Second, match your apology to the situation. If you made a real mistake, missed a deadline, or dropped a ball, then yes, own it. Apologize fully, fix it, and explain how it won't happen again. But all you have done is moved a meeting by 15 minutes, just say so, no apology needed. And third, create team norms that actually make room for directness. When everyone agrees, it's okay to be clear and straightforward. There's less pressure on anyone, especially women, to keep softening every single sentence. And that changes more than just tone, it changes power. But that's not just about individuals. Organizations have to move too. Start by making promotion decisions less about personality and more about performance. Use blind resume reviews. Put diverse panels in a room. Make sure confidence isn't being confused for competence. Train your managers again and again. Language biases does not disappear after one workshop. It creeps back in pretty soon. Refreshers help keep it out. And finally, track your data. Pay, promotions, representations. Break it down by gender. Make it public, because what gets measured gets fixed. When we shift how we communicate and how we are evaluated, the sorry gap starts to shrink. And when that happens, the pay gap shrinks as well. So does the leadership gap. So it's not about being less polite, it's about being more aware, more intentional, more equal. And that's the real fix.